So chapter 7 na tayo, which is bolted connections, no? So tapos na tayo sa member design, okay? Ang next stage is to do connection design, okay? So ito yung mga learning outcomes natin for today. Understand the advantages and disadvantages of bolted connections. Understand or explain, no, at least one, no, bolt installation procedures. Enumerate different mode of failure for bolted connections. Determine the bolt capacity or strength under using bearing type connection as well as slip critical connection. Also, what if combined stress na siya under these two types of bolted connections, and also to design, no, um, eccentric bolted connection, okay, which is discussed on section 510.3 of NECP to 2050. Okay? Okay, sige, introduction muna tayo to connection design. So, just ground rules, no, to and some quotes to help the set the tone for the presentation for today. So, any fool can design a structure. It takes an engineer to design a connection. Okay? God is in the details. Okay? So, don't take this literally, no? So, ibig sabihin lang niyan, no? Vital or critical yung detailing ng ating mga connections. Okay? And lastly, members don't fail, connections do. Okay? So, just a recap in terms of the design process, we already explained this on the previous chapter, but if we would continue, no, specifically dun sa last stage, which is the design and detailing, ang sabi natin dito, kapag pasado ka na sa member design, okay? Okay ka na sa member design, the next step, no? Assuming na acceptable na yung member design mo, to proceed in the connection design and detailing. Okay? So, yun yung step, no? Hindi pwedeng mauna si connection design bago mag-member design. Primarily because kapag merong changes, sa halimbawa, inuna mong gawin yung connection design and merong changes, no? In terms of the dimension ng member mo, after mo proceed sa member design, uulitin mo ulit si connection design. So, to make sure na hindi repetitive, no, yung ating calculations, we should always proceed with the member design, okay? And then, to follow si connection design, okay? Just to give you an idea, okay? In terms of actual practice, meron tayong no? Meron tayong dalawang two possible workflow on steel design. Okay? Specifically on connection design. Usually, no, dito sa Philippine setting, meron tayong as I've mentioned, dalawang workflow. Yung option 1, which is usually nangyayari sa Philippine setting, is yung tinatawag natin na no, yung scenario na kung saan yung engineer of record or the EOR of the member design would also perform, no, the design of your connection. So ibig sabihin, for option 1, kung sino yung gumawa ng member design, siya rin yung gagawa ng connection design. Okay? Now, yung option 2, which is usually adapted sa US, no? May scenario doon na kung saan kung sino yung engineer of record or the EOR for the member design, separate yung EOR ng connection design. What do I mean by that? So ang nangyayari ngayon, no, kapag dinesign na nung structural engineer yung member design niya, may mga cases na kung saan binibigay niya na lang yung mga forces doon sa mga joints, no? Or yung mga reactions sa joints. Wherein yun yung gagamitin mo na loadings or information to design your connections. And then, ang magdi-design ng connections sometimes is the fabricator, no? Or minsan yung manufacturer ng mga connections. So possible din 'yon, yung ganong option, yung option 2. Whatever the case would be, dapat alam mo kung paano gumawa, no, or mag-perform ng connection design. Okay? Okay, ito yung overall strategy and connection design. Okay? So the overall strategy is to avoid connection failure before member failure. Okay? So bakit? Kasi alam niyo na 'to, 'di ba? And para ma-achieve daw 'to, no, yung overall strategy na 'yan, dapat yung connections mo should develop the full strength of your member, no? And then bakit, no? Basically kasi kapag sinabing connection failure, yung connection failure is not as ductile, no, as the steel member failure. Okay? Parang pag sinabing connection failure is ano, brittle failure. Okay? Brittle failure yan, no? Without warning, magpe-fail yung structure mo. Okay? Gusto natin ano no, ductile mode of failure like yielding na usually occurs on your member, no? So hence it is desirable to avoid connection failure before the member failure. Okay? So dito pa lang nagkakaroon ka na ng idea, no? Based dito sa argument na to na dapat yung capacity ng connection should always greater than the capacity of your members. Okay? Ito yung pinaka overall strategy natin in doing connection design. Okay? These are past disasters na gusto kong ipapanood sa inyo, no? Number one, the Hyatt Regency Hotel collapse, which is for buildings, no? Ito yung link that I would like you to watch on your own. And yung I-35W bridge collapse sa US, ito naman for bridges, obviously. Ito naman yung link for you to watch yung documentation, documentary video on YouTube. Okay? So I would let you do the ano na lang, no? The checking for these two videos, no? So para ma-realize nyo lang kung gaano ka-critical yung connection design, no? So let's quickly show or reflect yung um, yung dalawang na yon, no? Dalawang past disaster na yon. So yung number one, yung Hyatt building, no? So ito yung nangyari dito, there's about 1,000 people, no? In a certain structure na kung saan meron silang event. And then suddenly yung itong pinaka canopy na to nag-collapse, no? Killing 111 people, no? 111. So anong nangyari ngayon is nag-collapse siya. Okay? Ito yung before and ito yung pinaka after. Okay? So I just want you to observe ito yung pinaka bloodbath, no? Kung gaano ka critical kapag ang isang engineer hindi nagche-check ng connections, okay, or hindi appropriately nagche-check ng kanyang mga designs, okay? So you would as they could say, no, yung doctor daw could kill a person one at a time, okay? Pero yung engineer, they could make it efficient, no? They could kill multiple people at once, okay? So sana wag ganun, no? Sana it's the other way around, no? Wherein uh, doctor can save a person one at a time while an engineer can save, no, multiple persons at once, no, using safe and sound design. Okay? So sana yun yung mangyayari. Okay? Anyways, so ang reason on this scenario, no, itong pinaka skywalk na to, no, meron kang pinaka skywalk doon na supported by tension rods. Ang nangyari is merong changes doon sa original design ng engineer. Okay, ito yung original design niya. And then dun sa as-built, I think this one was proposed by the contractor, which is unexpectedly approved by the engineer, no, without further checking ano yung magiging effect nun dun sa sa structure. So merong effect diyan. I think the explanation is that na double yung yung applied loads dun sa sa tension rod. I would like you to check yung video and then explanation. Okay? So yun, basically there's a changes in design based on original and dun sa as-built, and na-approve yun ng engineer, no, na recommend ni contractor to fast track siguro yung construction. And that's the reason on how why the skywalk failed, no? So ito yung yung specifically yung part nung box, deformed box beam, no, on the failed connection. Okay? Okay? Yan yung one of the picture on site, no, during forensic investigation. So yung overall lesson learned dito from this tragedy is that connection should be designed by a qualified engineer, obviously, no, at some point in the design and construction process. Also, mahalaga din yung internal quality review, no, for spot checking, especially kung may changes sa proposal ng mga contractor. Okay? Okay, sige. Lipat tayo. Another example for past disasters is the collapse of I-35W bridge in USA, no, way back 2007. So, ang nangyari dito is during busy time, no, busy time, rush hour. So, bumper yung mga sasakyan, nag-collapse, no, suddenly yung pinaka-bridge, no, wherein it killed 13 people, no, and 145 yung na-injured. Okay? So, anong nangyari dito, no, is during BCR, merong mga construction activity dun sa pinaka-deck mo. So, ayan, meron kang piles of aggregate na pinatong dun sa pinaka-deck. And merong mga construction equipment. So mabibigat 'yan, no? Kapag sinabing construction equipment, mga dump truck, ano, possibly, okay? Etc. And then obviously it's an overloading issue also. And after checking or investigation, to be specific, yung part na to nung pinaka ano mo, pinaka truss bridge mo is nag-fail, no? Nag-fail yung isa sa mga gasket plate dun sa bridge mo. So ito yung pinaka ano, pinaka itsura ng nag-failed na gasket plate. Okay? Yung sa U9 and U10 connection, may upper cord. Okay? So bago pa ito mag-fail, meron ng maintenance na ginawa yung mga engineer, no? Yun yung mga from time to time na maintenance na ginagawa. And they were observed na yung gasket plate, meron ng sign of ano, meron parang distress na siya, no? Ayan, nakabend na, no? And then wala naman silang ginawang ano, follow up or rehabilitation, no, for this ano gasset plate. So basically yung moral lesson is that a good maintenance, no, plan is important, and you don't need to ano, no, hindi mo dapat i-neglect yung any problems on your structure kasi it would cause a catastrophic ano failure. Okay? And then yeah, obviously overloading, it should be ano, it should be monitored, no, for our on our structures. Okay? So madaming scenario nito, which is we could relate on the recent event dito sa Philippines. Okay? Okay, sige. Okay na tayo diyan, no? So basically what I want you to understand, connection design is not something that you don't take seriously, no? Kasi maraming structure na nagpe-fail, and it's a critical mode of failure kasi hindi nila chine-check appropriately yung kanilang mga connections. Okay? So sige, let's proceed on types of connection. Okay? For the types of connection as per the code, no? As per the code, we have two, no, na present sa code. Number one, yung welded connection, okay? Which is presented on this section. And number two, yung bolted connection, which is yung i-discuss natin for today. Okay? So meron pang third type of connection na ginagamit dati, which is the repeated types of connection, which is somehow obsolete na. Okay? So ito yung example ng bolted connection. Obviously, gumagamit ng bolts, and yung weld. Okay? So ito yung example ng weld. Okay? So we would focus our for today discussion on bolted connections. So ito pa yung mga sample pictures for bolted connections that we could investigate. So for example, for this beam to column or girder to column connection, you could see here na yung beam mo, nung kinonect niya sa pinaka-flange nung column, naglagay pa siya ng plate na auto-stiffened yung connections, tinatawag nating end plate. And then on this connection, parang binax niya yung pinaka ano mo, no, on this side, parang gumamit siya ng channel, no? Channel siguro yan on both sides. And then yeah, on this one naman, okay, so ito very interesting to. Dun sa beam to column connection mo, to make sure na may continuous yung transfer of loadings, no, naglagay siya dito ng tinatawag na transverse stiffener. Okay? Kumbaga, mayroong tuko dito, no, from the flange of your girders or beams. Okay? So ayan, no. Ito rin sa gasket plate sa mga bridges. Okay? Ito yung pinaka diagonal members mo, yung flange niya bolted doon sa pinaka gasket plate. Okay? Okay, connection, another connection. So ayan, may end plate ka dito. Okay? Connected sa flange ng column. Doon sa web ng column mo, may end plate ka din na ginamit for the connected beams. Okay? Okay, ito naman is bolted connection din, but on this case, yung connection dun sa pinaka-column mo, wineld niya. Okay, wineld niya. Ang nilagyan niya ng bolt is yung ano, yung continuation ng mga possibly on the beam, no? Beam to beam ano, continuation ng beam. Okay? So connect bolted yung ano, yung flange, both flange and yung pinaka-web. Okay? Okay, ito circular, okay, or hollow section, tapos naglagay siya ng plate doon, wineld niya, tapos bolted connection dun sa pinaka-web ng beam mo. Okay? Another example of end plate and stiffener plate, okay, for columns. Okay, so ayan, no? Continuation ng ano, ng connections ng okay, this one is another ano example. Okay? This one is from software to actual construction. Okay, another example of connections. Okay, hollow sections. Okay, bolted connection. Okay, so yun yung example, no, na for bolted connections. Now let's discuss yung tinatawag na idealized connections. Okay? So ang question ngayon is, paano ba natin ina-idealize yung ating mga connections? No? So depende kasi yan kung ano yung type of support na ina-assume mo. So usually you have a pin support or pin connected joint, and the other one is the PIC support and the or a PIX connected joint like so. Okay? So for pin support or pin connection ng ating structural members, ang assumption dyan is slight relative rotation, no? Pwedeng mangyari. Okay? While for PIX naman, no rotation is assumed. Okay? And then obviously for pin connection, usually meron diyang no? Usually no moment dun sa support. Pag PIX naman with moment obviously. Okay? So ito yung example ng representation ng pin support in actual steel structure or connection detailing. No? So you can see here na yung girder mo na connected sa column is gumamit tayo ng dalawang angle like so. So ito yung makikita mo na angle sa side na to. Pag tumingin ka sa kabila, meron din. So parang ito yung dalawa na yon. No? So connected siya, bolted siya dun sa flange and bolted din sa web nung sa girder nung sa web ng girder. Okay? So again, no, ang assumption for this type of connection, for pin supported connection, ang ibang term kasi dito, no, specifically ng mga textbook is a simple shear connection, which means to say na it would resist shear only, no? And practically with little or no moment restraint. Okay? Yan yung assumption dito. It could also it can accommodate end rotation of unrestrained beams. Okay? So ito yung tinatawag natin na simple shear connections. Similarly, for fixed support or connections, you could see here na yung ginagamit to sa mga moment connections. Okay? Moment connection wherein it would resist lateral loads through bending in the columns and the beams or girders, no? And meron tayong rigidity na tinatawag dun sa girder to column na moment connection. So ito yung example kung paano siya din detail. So you can see na yung beam mo is connected on the column, tapos as we have mentioned, maglalagay ka ng stiffener, no? Para may continuation yung transfer ng mga loads. Yan, minsan wini-weld pa, no? Para talagang continuous. So and this on this scenario, aside from the fact na naka-bolt yung dalawang side ng mo, okay? Pati yung pinakababa, naglagay ka pa ng angle doon, no? Parang seat as a support doon sa pinaka girder mo. You could see here, no? Yan yung pinaka seat to idealize yung actual moment connections. Okay? Advantages and disadvantages, obviously, for bolted connections, mas madali yung installation ng bolted connections in a way na hindi ito nag-require ng skilled labor like yung mga welder na usually kailangan mo ng certification like for example yung mga welder natin in the Philippines usually graduate sila ng TESDA, no? Meron silang certification for that, no? So sa bolted connections kasi, no, you could demonstrate, no, on the other person, matututo ka agad, no, or mabilis ma-pick up on how to perform any bolted connection on site. Okay? So yun, no required, no, skilled labor or special equipment. So special equipment, yun nga, yung mga sa welding, no, kailangan mo kasi ng mga special equipment and obviously uh, power supply, no, para mapagana yung mga equipment na yan. So more appropriate in field connections, kapag sinabing field connection, ito yung connections na ginagawa mo mismo doon sa site, no, on-site connections. From consideration of safety, no, yun nga, wala kang issue sa fire kasi walang electricity supply na ginagamit for bolted connections. Okay? Ito lang yung disadvantages niya. Okay? So more difficult to design and to detail than welded connections. So itong scenario na to, papasok to doon sa designer. Okay? Kasi kung i-detail niya na or i-drawing niya na yung bolted connections, mas madaming information na kailangang ilagay and mas matagal siya gawin kumpara kay welded connections. Okay? Another disadvantages, bolt holes will reduce the section, gross area, and may weaken the steel member. Obvious naman to. Okay? Kaya nga meron ka kasing bolt holes which means mababawasan yung area mo. Okay? More material and space is needed. So meaning member overlapping, no? So as we have depicted dun sa mga previous picture, no, sample picture ng bolted connections na pinakita natin. Okay? Okay, sige, okay na tayo diyan. Let's discuss yung bolted connections. Okay? Yung parts of a bolt, basically, meron tayong pinaka-bolt natin. Yung bolt natin, merong body yon. Okay? And meron siyang pinaka-head. Okay? Now, para ma-lock siya in place, gumagamit tayo ng nut. No? Nut. And then, ito yung connected elements natin, yung mga plates natin. Para ano yan, no? Para ma-lock siya in place, may clamping tayo, gumagamit tayo ng pinaka-washer. Sorry, gumagamit tayo ng washer at both side of our bolted connection. Okay? And then, yung pinaka-body natin, obviously, dapat may thread yan. Okay? Para maipasok mo yung nut. Okay? Meron siyang tinatawag na thread. Now, in terms of bolt, no? In terms of bolts, meron tayong iba't ibang grades na pwedeng gamitin. For example, for bolts, ito yung mga grades na usual na ginagamit. For nuts, ito naman. Okay? And for the washer, okay? Any grade or specification. So, mag-proceed muna tayo on bolts. Okay? Muna tayo sa bolts. Now, in terms of type of bolts, meron tayong tatlo na usually ginagamit. Okay? So, yung number 1, yung A307. Okay? Na bolts. So, si A307, siya yung usual na ginagamit natin for ordinary or common bolts na tinatawag, which is ang application nito for secondary members o yung mga non-structural connections, okay, or members. For example, kailangan mo ng bolts sa handrails or sa railings mo sa bahay. So you could use 8307, okay? So this is applicable for members that are not taking too much loadings, okay? Now, kung structural members ka, dapat gagamit ka na ng high strength bolts. And yung number 1 on our list is yung A325 bolts. Okay? Which is, it could be used for beams and columns, etc. Basta structural elements. Okay? Now, there are cases kung saan babagsak ka, yung A325 mo, you could use the next in line, which is the A490 bolts. Okay? Ang counterpart nito in terms of the member or the material ng pinaka-steel member mo, kung sa steel member natin, meron tayong A36 and A50, okay? Sa bolt, meron tayong A325 and A490, okay? So, yun yung counterpart niya, okay? Pagdating dun sa member material, okay? Now, in terms of types of bolted connection, as per the code, meron tayong dalawa, okay? Yung number 1, yung bearing type connection, okay? And yung number 2, yung slip critical connection. Punta muna tayo dito kay bearing type connection. Discuss muna natin to. Okay? So basically, for bearing type connection, ginagamit to dun sa bolted connections na kung saan yung sliding of bolts is not considered critical. So ibig sabihin, allowed mag-slide yung bolted connection mo. No? And then, ang appropriate na gamitin mo is yung bearing type connections. Okay? As long as allowed mag-slide yung bolted connections mo. Now, siguro naisip kayo, paano mo malalaman kung bearing type connection ka, no? So usually gumagamit tayo ng symbol X and N na ina-append natin dun sa ating bolt name, no? Or yung type of bolt natin. So, to give you an idea, no, sabi natin kanina, we have A325 and A490 na bolt, no? So, pwede ka kasing mag-append ng diyan ng letter. So ito yung dalawang letter na pwede mong i-append. Pag nakita mo 'yan, ibig sabihin nun, matic 'yun, it's a bearing type connection, no? So halimbawa, A325X or pwede ring A325N. Okay? And then also we could say na it's a A490X and A490N, no? The question is, ano ba ibig sabihin ng X and ano ba ibig sabihin ng N? Okay? So yung symbol na X, it pertains to kapag yung bolts mo is thread, yung thread mo is excluded, no, from the shear plane. So paano 'yon? No? Ano ibig sabihin nun? Okay? So refer on this figure, you could see na meron kang dalawang plate material na connected using a bolted connection. And pag naglagay ka ng applied load on one plate, obviously the direction of the load on the other plate would be on the opposite direction, no? And then we all know kung ganito yung applied load, yung pinaka bolt mo meron yang pinaka shear failure plane, which is on the boundary ng plate mo. Diyan shear yung pinaka bolt mo. Okay? Now, dito tinawag siyang X kasi kung mapapansin mo, yung location nung thread mo andito. Okay? Location ng thread mo andito. And yung thread mo is excluded dun sa shear plane. Ito yung shear plane. Okay? Yung thread mo is excluded or kumbaga on your shear plane wala kang thread. Okay? So ibig sabihin excluded nga kaya yun yung symbol na ginagamit natin. On the other hand, on this scenario naman, yung opposite niya, ito yung shear plane natin, you could see na yung thread mo pumasok dun sa shear failure plane. So ang ibig sabihin nun, N pertains to included, no? Thread is included on the shear failure plane. Okay? So ibig sabihin, yun lang yung usual, no, na types ng bearing type connection. It's either X or N, no? Which pertains if the threaded part is included or excluded on the shear plane. Okay? Sige, muna tayo on the next type of bolted connection, which is the slip critical connections. Kung sa bearing type, it's not allowed to slide, or sorry, it's allowed to slide on slip critical, no, which is ang ibang term dito is a friction type connection. Dito hindi allowed na mag-slide yung mo, no? Yung connection mo. And usually ma-observe mo to, ginagamit to sa mga bridges, no? Sa mga bridges kasi usually meron yung mga loadings natin, no? Due to vehicular loads, nagkakaroon ng reversal, especially kung truss member, no? Halimbawa, truss member ka, nagkakaroon ng force reversal sa mga loadings natin on our members and even on the joints, no? So, those reversal usually it would cause no, due to repetitive force, nagko-cause siya ng fatigue failure na usually observable on steel bridges. Okay? So, to avoid yung fatigue failure na tinatawag, pine-prevent natin yung sliding dun sa ating connections or joints. So, para ma-prevent yon, ang appropriate na type of bolted connections na gagamitin, itong slip critical. So, basically, no, yun yung gamit ng ating slip critical. So, sa bearing connection, kung ito yung usual na schematic for slip critical, ito naman. Okay? So, usually, ginagamit mo lang, no? Although i-detail natin explanation mamaya, okay, for slip critical connection, gumagamit ka lang ng tinatawag na paying surface, no? Yung lapping ng mga plate mo na in contact, meron yung friction force na yun yung nagre-resist ng mga applied loads. Okay? Sige, i-detail natin yan mamaya para mas maintindihan nyo. Okay? By the way, no? So paano natin malalaman kung slip critical connection? So wala dito sa PowerPoint, no? Pero paki-take note na lang. So basically, we append the letter F, no? Capital letter F. So for example, gagamit ka ng A325, okay? F or A490. A490, okay? Let me correct this one, okay? A490, sige, A490. Ibig sabihin lang nun, it's a slip critical connection pag nakita mo sa plano or sa problem, okay? So matik yan, no? If you append the letter F, it's a slip critical connections, okay? Sige. Let's discuss bolt installation procedure now. Now, in terms of installation procedure as per NSCP, no, 2015, usually meron dalawang procedure. Yung usual, which is the snug tight connection, and for pre-tension and slip critical connections. So under these connections, ito yung mga usual na methods na ginagamit to achieve yung tension. Okay? Yung turn of the nut, calibrated wrench, okay? So on and so forth. Okay? But for the sake of our discussion, you would only go in depth on the turn of the nut method na tinatawag. Okay? So ano ba tong turn of the nut method? Okay? On how you would install our bolted connections. Okay? So, on turn of the nut method, as per NSCP 2015, merong dalawang step yan. Okay? Yung step number 1, wherein yung bolt mo is tightened up to the snug tight position. Okay? So, ang question is, ano ba ibig sabihin ng snug tight? Okay? So, dinipine din sa code yan. Okay? As per NSCP, snug tight is the tightness attained with an with the few impacts of an impact wrench or the full effort of an iron worker using an ordinary spud wrench. Which means to say, no, basically, kuha ka ng spud wrench, tapos ilagay mo yung nut mo, iikot mo yan, okay? I-install mo yan. Kapag nag-stop na, no, yung rotation, using the manual effort na kaya mong ibigay dun sa nut mo or sa bolts mo, stop na, no? Ibig sabihin, complete na yung step 1. Na-attain mo na yung tinatawag na snag tight position. Okay? Now, yung step 2, as per the code, para matapos mo yung turn of the nut method, is you need to apply an additional turn, no? After nung snag tight position. So, kung ano yung additional turn nakalagay dito sa table na to, which is from the AISC. So, paano siya gamitin? Basically, i-define mo lang yung length and diameter nung bolt na ginamit mo. And then, meron siyang corresponding additional turn. For example, no, yung bolt length mo is not more than 4 times the diameter of bolt. Okay? Ang sabi niya, okay, is usually itong column naman yung ginagamit, no? Usually, mag-apply ka daw ng 1/3 turn, additional turn, no, after the snag tight position. So basically, ano lang yun, no, yung 1/3 turn, basically that's 360 divide 3, no? So yun na yung 1/3 turn. Okay? So after noon, tapos na yung pinaka-process mo for the turn of the nut method. Okay? So ang nangyayari doon, kung babalikan natin yung previous slide, kapag nirotate mo kasi ng nirotate yung pinaka-bolt mo na to, okay? So ang nangyayari, yung pinaka-body ng bolt mo, in tension, no? Meron siyang natitension siya. And in return, yung pinaka-plate mo na to, yung dalawang plate mo, meron kang tinatawag na clamping force, no? Doon sa pinaka-plate mo. Kasi nga, intention to, tapos sumihigpit yung yung pinaka-nut and mo, okay? And bolt mo. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, as per the code, kapag natapos mo na yung step 2, dapat ma-achieve mo to, itong tinatawag na minimum bolt pretension as per NSCP, no? Table 510.3.1. So, halimbawa, gumamit ka ng 20 millimeter diameter na bolt. Dapat daw, kung 8325 volts yung ginamit mo, ma-achieve mo yung tinatawag na 142 kilonewton na minimum bolt pretension. Okay? Para masabing appropriate or tama yung yung or hindi substandard yung pinaka bolt na ginamit. Okay? So ito yung required na minimum bolt pretension. Okay? Sige, skip na natin to. Basically, no, by the way, what if hindi aabot yung yung minimum bolt pretension mo for this bolt size and bolt type. Basically, kapag hindi umabot dito, reject 'yon. Okay? Reject 'yon kasi ito yung requirement ni code for minimum bolt pretension. Okay? Okay na tayo dito. Let's skip this one. Okay? Sige, pakita lang natin on a video kung paano ginagawa yung turn of the nut. But on this case, gumamit siya ng pinaka machine. Okay? Sige, step 1. Snag tight position. So, hinihigpitan niya yung pinaka-bolt and nuts mo using a machine. So, parang snag tight yan. Nag-stop na siya. Okay? Yung next step na gagawin niya, guguhitan niya yung pinaka-bolt mo tsaka yung pinaka-nut ng straight line. Parang yan yung original position. Tapos, maglalagay siya ng additional turn. Okay? Parang yan yung reference niya pag naglagay siya ng additional rotation. Okay? So, yan. Naglagay siya ng additional turn which depends dun sa grade ng bolt. Length ng bolt and diameter ng bolt. Okay? So yun, umikot na yon. Okay? Umikot na yung bolt na yon. And then, after nun, ayan, i-check niya. Okay? I-check niya kung ano yung naging additional term. Kung appropriate ba na 1/3 ba yan or 1/4, so on and so forth. Okay? Okay? So basically, that's the snag tight, the turn of the nut method. Okay? The question is, especially kapag nasa site na kayo, okay? Meron bang way to find out if yung mga bolts na sinupply sa'yo is substandard? Okay? So ano ba yung mga testing and inspection na pwede natin gamitin? So actually, meron. No? Ito yung ginagamit nating device. No? Yung bolt tension calibrator or Skidmore device. No? Which is ginagamit to for pre-tension bolts. No? For pre-installation verification para ma-check mo kung substandard yung mga bolts na sinupply sa'yo nung fabricator. Well, saan mo siya i-compare? Well, basically, compare mo siya dun sa table na pinakita ko sa inyo kanina dito. No? Dito mo siya i-compare. Kasi mayroong minimum bolt pretension na inassign dito, no, per bolt diameter. Okay? So, ano yung usual na ginagawa? So, ito nga, no, itong video na to. So, pakita lang natin
Okay,
mabilis.
we're doing a pre-installation verification video on AE325 bolts, 2¼ inches long and 5.
Basically, in-install niya yung ano, yung device, okay? Tapos ilalagay niya yung bolt doon. Okay? Basically, yung device mo meron dial yan, no? Diyan mag-register kung ilan yung tension force na binuhat ng ano mo nung pinaka-bolt mo. Then, ang gagawin niya, na-install niya na yung bolt sa loob, lalagyan niya ng somehow ilalagyan niya ng snug tight, no? Snug tight position yung step 1. Okay? Snug tight. Sorry. So parang lumampas tayo, no? Una, in-install niya yung bolt, nilagyan niya ng force, di na pinakita dito. Snug tight position yung step 1. Tapos sinulatan niya, okay, ayan, sinulatan niya for the additional turn, okay? Tapos based dun sa bolt diameter and the length of the bolt, dun mo malalaman kung ano yung additional turn. Then naglagay pa siya ng additional turn ngayon. Now, nung na-achieve niya yung additional turn, merong mag-register na load dun sa dial. That would give you an idea nung actual bolt pretension na i-compare mo dun sa table, no, for the minimum bolt pretension. So basically yun lang, no? Yun lang yung way to understand or to check or to verify yung ano mo, yung mga bolts mo. Okay?
Okay, it's recording.
Okay? Sige. I think yung question entertain natin mamaya. Let's proceed on failure modes ng bolted connection. Now, in terms of connections kasi, no, as a general, there's a lot of mode of failure na related sa connections. Okay? Sobrang dami. Ito yun, no? Nilista ko na dito. Okay? Now, sobrang dami, nakakalito. Okay? Ngayon, yung a good engineer, no? A good engineer would understand, no? Ano yung dapat niyang i-ignore sa lahat ng list na to. Okay? Na applicable lang sa kanya. Okay? So, on this scenario, we would narrow down our mode of failure specific to bolts, no? Since we're dealing with bolts connection. So ito yung mga usual, no, na failure modes. Number 1, yung shear failure of the bolts. Number 2, yung tension failure of the bolts. Yung number 3 is the bearing failure of the connected elements, no? Mind the term na ginamit for connected elements, no? Tear out failure of the connected elements. So basically itong 3 and 4, just to give you an idea, laging magkasama to on the check. And sa code, no, pagdating sa NSCP 2015, pinag-isa lang to, no? And tinatawag to na ano, tinatawag siya na ano no? Bearing on bolt holes. Bearing strength on bolt holes. No? Pinagsasabay yung check na to, itong 3 and 4. Okay? Basically, ang ginagawa, chine-check kung sino yung mas mababa sa dalawang mode of failure na to, tapos siya yung nag-govern. Okay? Siya yung nag-govern. So mamaya ipapakita natin kung paano ba yung tinatawag na bearing on bolt holes, no? So basically, actually, ano lang yan, no? Tatlo lang talaga to, itong di-discuss natin. Okay? So, sineparate ko lang, no? Yung dalawang mode of failure included dun sa bearing on bolt holes. Okay? Sige, discuss natin yung shear failure of the bolts. Ito is straightforward to, no? For example, you have this single lap splice connection na plate, tapos may nakabolt ka, okay? Naglagay ka ng load P dito, obviously you would have a load P on opposite direction. Now, if you would do the pre-body diagram nung bolts mo, okay? Ito yung kakalabasan, no? Yung sa top part nung bolt mo, okay? Meron kang pinaka reaction, no? Due to this plate, no? Na may transfer doon sa pinaka-bolt mo. Okay? Now, due to this plate naman, ito yung pinaka-reaction doon sa bottom part ng pinaka-bolt mo. Okay? Now, kung ito yung from this pre-body diagram, obviously magkakaroon ka ng shear, no, to resist yung pinaka-reaction doon sa plate na to. Okay? Magkakaroon ka ng shear doon. Okay? So, which is also equal to the shear. No? So, sa scenario na to, tinatawag natin tong single shear. Okay? Now, on this scenario naman, iba yung usapan since this is already a double shear. No? So, bakit naging double shear? Basically, dalawa na kasi yung failure shear failure plane mo. Okay? So, assuming na equal yung thickness ng top and bottom plate na going to the right, mag-share lang sila ng load. Okay? So P over 2. So, yung middle plate would resist yung load P. Similarly, ito yung magiging reaction na na-apply dun sa bolt. Ito yung magiging shear. No? Okay? So basically, you need to account for the number of shear failure plane, no, kapag mag-check ka na ng shear failure. Okay? So, very specific to, no? Yung ating area na magre-resist ng ating applied load P is parallel to the applied load P. Okay? Ito yung area natin shear area. Parallel siya to the applied load P. So, yan yung tinatawag natin shear failure of the bolts. Okay? Tension failure of the bolts, kung yung isa is parallel, ito yung load P. Ito yung direction ng load P. Okay? Ito yung area natin na magre-resist. Okay? So, parang ano tayo, no? Siguro beam to tapos merong overhanging na member. Okay? So, on this case, yung area mo is perpendicular. Okay? Or orthogonal dun sa direction ng applied load P. So, in this case, tension failure of the bolts ang calculations natin. Okay? Punta tayo sa bearing failure of connected elements. So, for the bearing failure naman, okay, as per strength of materials ng subject nyo or mechanics of deformable bodies, okay, kapag yung bolts mo, okay, o kaya yung plate mo, naglagay ka ng load P, ang mangyayari, magkakaroon ng bearing dun sa babangga yung part na to ng bolt hole dun sa pinaka bolts mo, no? And then in terms of bearing failure dun sa pinaka bolt mo, ang area talaga na magre-resist, alam niyo na to, di ba? Is the projected area, no? And that projected area nung pinaka bolt mo is itong area na to. Okay? And that is kung i-refer mo siya dun sa plate and dun sa bolt, no? That is simply the thickness of the plate times the diameter of the bolt. That's the projected area, projected bearing area, okay, na ginagamit natin on our calculations. Okay? So skip natin to kasi alam niyo na yan, no? Tear out, okay? Punta tayo sa tear out. Now sa tear out, basically parang black shear, ano lang to no? Failure. Ang nangyayari, matitil out itong pinaka part na to ng ating plate. No? Yan yung natawag nating tear out. So basically, from this one, natanggal na, no? Natanggal na yung pinaka plate, part ng ating top plate. Okay, naiwan na. Okay? Sige, discuss natin yung tensile and shear strength as per the code. Now, as per the code, no, yung ating nominal strength, no, kapag tension or shear ka for the bolts, okay? Just to emphasize lang, this is nominal strength, no? Tensile strength or shear strength. Parehas lang daw yung formula niya. And it was presented on 510.3.6. Ang sabi ni code, it is simply equal, or Rn is equal to F sub n times A sub B, no? So ang question is, ano ba si F sub n? Ano ba si A sub B? Okay? So sige, discuss natin yung F sub n. Si F sub n is simply the nominal tensile stress, F sub np. Kapag yung action mo is tension. Okay, malinaw yan, no? Sub t. What if yung action mo is shear? Kung shear yon, so basically, shear stress F sub nb yung gagamitin mo. Okay? And ang sabi ni code, kukunin mo daw siya sa table 510.3.2. Okay? So reflect natin yan mamaya on the next slide. Okay? Puntahan natin yan. Okay? While the A sub B, ito yung area, no? Now, question, anong area ba to? Okay? Threaded area or unthreaded area? So malinaw dito, no? Sinabi ni code, it's a nominal unthreaded, no, area ng ating bolt. Okay? Okay, sana malinaw to, no? It's unthreaded area. Okay? So, it is specified din on this section na pagdating sa under strength, the P, no, for LRFD is 0.75 and 2.0 for the omega for ASD. Okay? So, malinaw, no? Kasi, usually, mababa talaga yan or malaki to. Kasi nga, it's a brittle mode of failure. So, talagang pinapenalize yung ni code. Okay? Parang parehas kay black shear. Okay? Punta tayo ngayon dito kay F sub n kasi meron tayong dalawang parameter. Okay? So ito yon, ito yung table na yon. Okay? Table 510.3.2. Okay? Nominal stress of fasteners and unthreaded parts. So you can see here na may tatlong column. Yung column 1, yung mga name ng ating mga bolts. Okay? Yung column 2 pertains to the nominal tensile stress F sub np. Okay? So for tension bolts under tension. Okay? And this one, the third column is for nominal shear stress in bearing type connection, F sub NB. No? So basically, ito naman is for bolts na under shear. No? Under shear. You could see, meron siyang mga value, no? Corresponding to different types of bolts. For example, for A307, so ito yon. Okay? For A325, dalawang row yung meron. Okay? Yung first row and second row, both A325. Okay? So ano yung difference? Malinaw naman. Sinabi dito, when threads are not excluded. So ano ba yung kabaliktaran ng not excluded? Okay? So basically, kapag not excluded, meaning included. So ibig sabihin, itong ano na to, okay? Itong row na to, this pertains to ano? This pertains to A325N na bearing type connection. Okay? While itong row naman na to, A325, threads are excluded. So meaning this one pertains to ano naman, A325X. Okay? Or excluded. So alam niyo na 'yon, no? Na-explain na natin yung difference ng dalawang type of ano, bearing type connection. Okay? Okay? Sige. So ito yung A490, no? For included and excluded. Ano yung mapapansin nyo? Okay? Mapansin nyo dito na yung sa tensile stress, walang pinagkaiba. Okay? Pero pagdating sa shear, ayan, meron na. May difference na. Lumalabas dito for N or included, ito yon, no? For A325, 372. And for excluded, for A325, it's 457. Mapapansin mo na kapag included daw, ito yon, no? Included yung thread sa shear plane, mas mababa, no, yung kanyang nominal shear stress kumpara sa excluded. Well, it makes sense, no? Mas mababa siya kasi mas mababa yung ano, yung diameter niya. No? Kumbaga bawas na yung diameter mo dito kay included in comparison with the excluded. Okay? Kaya it makes sense, no? Pagdating dun sa pinaka formula natin, F sub n A sub b, hindi mo nababaguhin tong A sub b. Okay? Ang formula natin for A sub b is the unthreaded area ng bolt. Kasi nga, ang ginawa ni Code, dito niya na inadapt, dun sa F sub n niya na inadapt yung deduction sa area, no? By incorporating dito sa ano, nominal shear stress. Para kumbaga pinababa niya na dito, okay? Okay? Mas mababa yung included doon sa excluded, okay? So sana na pick up niyo 'yun, no? Sana na pick up niyo 'yun at sana it makes sense, okay? Okay? Sige. Take note lang sa shear failure, no? The number of slip plane or shear planes is critical, no, on the calculations. Usually ito nagkakamali mga students, okay? Punta tayo sa bearing at bolt holes, yung third mode of failure na sinasabi ko. Okay? Sabi natin, may dalawa dito. Okay? Yung tearing and bearing. So, halimbawa, on bearing strength at bolt holes, which is discussed on section 510.3.10, ang sabi ni code, no, the nominal capacity mo daw, comparison lang yan ng dalawang term, which is yung tearing, ito yung equation, for bearing, ito yung equation. Okay? This is for the scenario na kung saan when deformation at bolt hole at service load is a design consideration. Kumbaga, sa problem, pag sinabi itong mga keywords na to, automatic, ito ka nasa case A ka. No? Ito yung equation na gagamitin mo. Okay? Now, iba yung usapan kapag service load is not a design consideration. Obviously, ito yung corresponding equation na gagamitin mo. Okay? And lastly, kapag long slatted ka, so ito naman yung corresponding equation mo. Okay? Okay? Now, kung paano nag-arrive dito sa my equation na to, meron tayong discussion mamaya on the next slide. Sa ngayon, let's himayin natin ano ba yung mga parameters na ginagamit diyan para nagkakaintindihan tayo. Okay? Well, number one, yung parameter na D, just to be clear, no, this is the nominal bolt diameter, no? Emphasis, bolt diameter, no? Not hole diameter, no? Hindi yung hole diameter, baka magkamali kayo, no? So, again, F sub U, alam niyo na yan, no? It pertains to the connected material. Hindi to sa bolt, ha? Doon to, sa plate mo to, sa plate. Okay? Yung L sub C, this is the clear distance. So, discuss natin mamaya kung paano nakakalculate yung L sub C on the tearing side ng equation. And the T is the thickness of the connected material or yung plate mo. Okay? Sige. So, ayan na yung mga equation na present sa code. Let's try to investigate paano ba siya nag-arrive on that equation. Okay? So, unahin muna natin yung tearing. Okay? Yung tearing. So, siguro mas maganda, ito na lang, yung ipakita natin. Paano ba na-generate to or na-derive tong 1.2 L sub C thickness F sub U? Okay? Well, basically, if you have this failure surface, no? Kasi yung bolt mo, meron yung reaction from the plate. And minsan, nagkakaroon ka ng tearing, ito yung matitear out. Okay? Itong ano na to. Kumbaga, ito yung pinaka failure path mo. Well, you could simplify this one by assuming na ganito yung pinaka matitear out. No? Parang ganyan yung layout. Now, in terms of the reaction, kung yung bolt mo, okay, meron siyang reaction dun sa surface na yon as R sub n, okay? Since meron kang dalawang surface na shear, okay? Ito yung first line or first surface, ito yung second shear failure plane, okay? So ibig sabihin kung ito yung reaction mo, yung kakargahin ng dalawang isang shear failure plane mo, divide 2 lang, no, nung reaction. So that is R sub n over 2. Okay? And yung length na to nung ating pinaka shear failure plane, tawagin natin L sub C. No? Tawagin natin L sub C. Now, in terms of the equation, no, in terms of the equation kasi, just to give you an idea, nag-arrive lang siya dun sa sa equation na stress is equal to load P over area, which is kung i-rearrange mo yan, P is equal to stress times area. Okay? Now, ano ba yung load P? Ano ba yung reaction dun sa isang single shear or na-tear out, no? Na-tear out na plane? Well, yung reaction mo is R sub n over 2. Yun yung P. So ito na yon. Okay? Now, ano ba yung allowed stress, no? For this type of mode of failure? As per the code, yung for shear fracture stress, ang ina-allow is 0.6 F sub U. So ito na yon. Okay? Ito na yon. Yun na yung stress na yon. Okay? Now, next is ano ba yung area na magre-resist? Now, dito, alam natin na yung length na to is the length LC, and para maging area yan, you need to multiply by the thickness of the plate. So ito yon. Ito na yung pinaka-area natin corresponding to this. Okay? Now, simplify mo yan. Okay? Simplify mo yan. Yung 2 mapupunta ron sa right-hand side of our equation. Ito na yung magiging equation natin. And 2 times 0.6 is 1.2. No? F sub U, L sub C times T. Okay? Which is looks familiar kasi yun. Nasa kabilang slide. Okay? For the tearing. Okay? Now, I would let you do the reading na lang on the textbook references na binigay ko sa inyo on paano na-derive tong mga to. Okay, for the tearing kasi pinakita na yun doon. At least meron tayong pinakita kung paano na-derive itong case A. Okay? Sige. So okay na to, no? Let's proceed dun sa sa bearing. Gusto ko lang i-emphasize, by the way, no? For tearing calculations, yung LC nagbabago yan, okay? Nagbabago yan depende sa bolts na kina-calculate mo or hahanapan mo ng tearing, okay? So for example, for this one, itong pinaka bolt number 1 natin, yung L sub C niya is ito. Okay? From the edge distance to the edge ng pinaka bolt hole. Okay? Let me emphasize, L sub C should be calculated not based on the bolt diameter but based on the bolt hole diameter. Okay? Bolt hole diameter. Now, kung sa column 2 ka naman, okay, yung LC was defined from this location to this location. Okay? So, ganun siya kina-calculate. Okay? Kumbaga, parang sinasabi ni code na pagdating sa bolt 1 sa column 1, ito yung ito yung matitir out. Okay? For bolt 2, ito naman. Okay? Parang ganun. Okay? Anyways, meron tayong example calculation mamaya. Let's present kung paano siya kina-calculate. Okay? For bearing naman, okay? For bearing, alam natin na ito yung equation natin, no? The projected area, ganun pa rin to, no? This is simply P is equal to stress times area, no? So yung P mo yung reaction, okay? Yung stress mo is ito, okay? Yung area mo, again, sabi natin, no, that is the projected area, which is itong thickness ng plate and yung diameter ng bolt. Okay? So ito na yun. And then, I would let you do the reading kung paano na-calculate yung tinatawag nating constant C, no? As per the textbook references. Kaya mapansin mo, basically, ito na rin yung formula for the bearing, no? Nag-iiba lang yung value ng C, no? Depende sa assumption, no? As presented dito, okay? 2.4, 3, and 2.0. Okay? So ito na rin yun. Okay? Yung pinakita nating equation. Okay? Sige. Let's proceed on the next topic, which is itong minimum spacing and edge distance. Okay? Now, as per the code, hindi kasi randomly nadidefine yung spacing natin ng mga bolts. Okay? Meron niyang minimum requirement. Okay? So ito yung minimum requirement as per the code. As per 110.3.3 ng NSCP 2015, it's which discuss yung minimum spacing ng ating bolts. Ang sabi, the distance between the centers of standard, oversized, or slatted holes shall not be less than 2 and 2/3 times the nominal diameter. Okay? So anong diameter to? Nilinaw din, no? Nung fastener. No? Ano ibig sabihin, ano ba ibang term sa fastener? Well, it also pertains to our bolts. Okay? So malinaw 'yun, no? Diameter of the bolts. And yung ibang designer, ang ginagawa dito, no? As per the code kasi, a distance of 3D is preferred. Kaya yung mga designer, automatic, ito na yung ginagamit. Okay? Kasi mas mataas to sa minimum eh. Okay? Anyways, as long as alam natin yung minimum spacing, we could do the calculations. Okay? Punta tayo ngayon sa, by the way, no? On this connection, obviously, yung minimum spacing ng bolts natin, ito yon, no? Ito yon. Okay? Para nagkakaintindihan tayo. Okay? Ito rin yon, yung S. Now, yung next distance, yung tinatawag nating minimum edge distance, meron din tong value. And as per the code, the distance from the center of a standard hole, okay, kung standard yung hole mo, to an edge of connected part in any direction shall not be less than either the applicable value from table 510.3.4, okay, or this section daw. Okay? Well, in short, ang sabi ni code, for minimum edge distance, kapag standard hole ka, mag-refer ka lang daw sa table na to. Okay? So by the way, ito pala yung tinatawag nating edge distance. No? Para nagkakaintindihan tayo. Okay? Ito yung mga edge distance na tinatawag. Ano sabi niya? The distance from the center, okay, malinaw to guys, no? From the center of standard hole to the edge of your connected elements. Okay? So for this scenario, ito yon. For this scenario, ito naman yon. Okay? Ang sabi niya, mag-refer ka lang daw sa table na to. So pakita nga natin to. Okay? Ano ba yung table na yan? Okay? So, ito yon, no? Ito yung table na yon. So basically, ang gagawin mo lang, alamin mo yung bolt diameter na ginamit, tapos meron kang corresponding minimum edge distance. Okay? Usually, ang ginagamit natin ito, itong mas mababa, no? Itong third column. Okay? So, halimbawa, for 26 na, 20 na bolt diameter, yung minimum edge distance mo is 26. Okay? So, sana malinaw to. Okay? What if, now, the question is, what if oversized or slatted hole yung ginamit mo? Okay? So, ang sabi ni code, the distance from the center of an oversized or slatted hole to an edge of connected part shall not be less than that required for a standard hole to an edge of a connected part plus, no, malinaw to. Basically, kapag oversize ka daw, ito lang yon. Gamitin mo lang yung for standard hole, pero meron kang meron kang i-add na na edge distance increment C sub 2, no? C sub 2 which is kukunin mo sa table na to. Okay? Malinaw din dito kung ano yung bolt diameter mo, no? Ito yung corresponding C sub 2 for oversized holes. Okay? So yun lang yung sabi ni code. Okay? Plus the applicable increment C sub 2 from table blah blah blah. Okay? So malinaw yun guys, no? For minimum spacing, summarize lang natin, ang requirement ni code, it should be greater than or equal to and 2/3 nung bolt diameter. For edge distance L sub E, ang sabi niya, refer ko sa table 510.3.4. Okay? Sige. Okay na tayo dito. Skip natin to. Example problem na tayo. Okay? Okay, example problem tayo.